Welcome back to iHealKids. I'm your host, Dr. Ellie. I'm a holistic pediatrician and founder of Middle Path Integrative Pediatrics here in Asheville, where I blend conventional medicine and holistic pediatrics and also functional medicine for kids and adults. In today's episode, we're continuing our heartfelt conversation with Jabbarah Andrea Jacobson about the heart-centered approach and exploring what the research and evidence show how to navigate parenting challenges in today's world and why understanding our children's big feelings can strengthen connection and resilience for the whole family. We'll also talk about how parents can find support in this process, because caring for kids starts with caring for ourselves. If you haven't yet listened to part 1, I definitely encourage you to go back and hear the foundation of this beautiful conversation first. And don't forget to subscribe to iHealKids and also check out my online course, Nourish with Confidence, where I teach parents how to feed their babies with calm, clarity, and connection in the first year of life. Happy listening. Okay, so parents who, kind of wonder, is it like a philosophy? Is it a practice? What is the research? What's the evidence supporting NHA?
Sure. You can go to the Nurture Heart Institute website, and there is a tab that says research, and you can see there's lots of research, individual research as well as group research. The first gold study that was done from the University of Arizona gold standard study showed that hyperactivity, impulsivity, and inattention went from high levels prior to one parent taking the Nurtured Heart Approach 6-week class online to low and negligible levels following the class. And that included things like anxiety, depression, impulsiveness. But then also there is currently the state of New Jersey is using the Nurture Heart Approach in their entire care system. So they've been doing that for over almost a decade now. And they've seen major decreases in hospitalizations for mental health cases. They've seen a reduced seclusion with hospitals using the Nurture Heart approach, less recidivism of people coming back to the hospital since the Nurture Heart approach. And also in the state of New Jersey, they started a program called Dreams in response to COVID. And they have a grant for the entire state of New Jersey for any teacher that wants to get certified in Nurture Heart Approach, because they've seen how much it works. There are counties all over the country, all over the world, that are Nurture Heart Approach counties and schools. And yeah, it's just really showing also about inner wealth, which is really the main focus of the Nurture Heart approach. It's really about, the aim is to build inner wealth in ourselves and in our kids. And so there's studies also showing how with more inner wealth, there's lower levels of anxiety and depression.
So let's review. So let's put it just make this a little more granular. So the studies are showing less impulsiveness, less anxiety, less hospitalizations, like readmissions for mental health or physical health. And there may have been one more. But overall, it looks like the evidence is showing that employing this approach helps not only, if I'm correct, kids and adults and parents.
Oh, yeah. The one thing
Yeah.
I hear almost every time that I'm working with a family is, this is really more for me than for the kid, isn't it?
It kind of reminds me of when I went to puppy training class with my dogs, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't understand English. They don't know. I do think, though, to a point, though, I do think that this is something that we may have missed growing up. Like, it is possible that we were raised in environments that were maybe not the most functional or supportive, or perhaps didn't address things in this way. And now we're parenting. For those of us who are parents, I'm not. But for those of us who are, or in other caregiving roles, like I'm an auntie, I could see where it's like, oh, I kind of missed learning these pieces, and I'm sort of just reacting in a way that, maybe my mom acted, and I just, never really learned a different way. And I guess I'm rambling a little bit, but the other part that I kind of think about with this too is like, I don't know if you've noticed this. Maybe you can actually comment on this too, Jabbarah. Like, I've noticed a lot of parents are so much more anxious than they used to be. Like, I've been doing this work about 18 years now, and maybe it's all of the information, like maybe it's information overload, or maybe it's like, how are we supposed to be quote unquote perfect parents or get everything right or like choose the perfect products and the perfect school and the perfect medicine and the perfect, I can't even breathe because
Right.
we all have to be so perfect. Have you noticed that? Have you
Oh,
found that
yeah.
your work's valuable? Yeah, I'm just going to have you speak to that a little bit because that's something I've really noticed.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Um, I think that well, first of all, let's talk about the energy of that,
Yeah.
right? When we're nervous, the kids feel that, and then they're more dysregulated, right? When we're stressed out, they feel that, and then their behaviors are bigger. This is not to put blame on parents, it's just to
No.
understand the relationship dynamics and this is a motivation for us to move into self-care and,
Mhm.
to really see what are our stressors, how can we reduce them? Unfortunately, right now, the world is a stress place. It's a stressful place.
Yeah.
And, I think I've definitely have seen a rise, and I hear you on the comparisons to all of these perfect things out there. And in fact, I'm making these videos for kids right now, and I did a first round, and they were just so far from perfect. Like there were so many things that I was unhappy with in them, and I just
Mm.
kept thinking to myself, well, maybe I should just post them anyways, because maybe it's a way to show people that they don't have to be perfect, and they can still
Yeah.
put themselves out there. In the end, I decided not to because the sound quality was just irritating, so,
I have been there, been there.
yeah.
Yes.
But I was happy with that message, and I think that it's really important that our kids see us show up in that way. I'm not perfect because we cannot be perfect, and also with the parent stress, the kids' stress is a lot higher now too. Um, as an OT, when I was working in the schools, we would go into a classroom and, do some screenings, or I was in the classrooms all the time, and I would look around and see, well, what kids could use a little extra support, and for many, many years, it was like 2, 3 kids could use some extra support. Now we go into classrooms and it's 2 kids that don't need support,
Mhm.
and that's across
Yeah.
the board. So yeah, there's just so much more stress, and I do feel with this so much information at our access, that sometimes it's hard to remember to come back to the heart and our own intuition because we're kind of stuck in the mind and in comparisons with what we're hearing from other people too. I've also heard a lot of parents, the nurture heart approach. I'm not going to, we're not going to ignore misbehaviors, but we're also not going to celebrate them. And almost every parent says, well, what am I supposed to do at the playground? What if my kid hits another kid? What am I supposed to do if the kid starts yelling at me? What all the parents are looking at me?
Yeah.
And I always say, well, it's an opportunity to educate them. Say, I'm using this thing called the nurture heart approach, but that fear is very real.
Yes, no one wants to be the parent that, because I've heard these stories too, of course.
Yeah.
Like, you're in the grocery store and your child's having, a moment, and there's some screaming and yelling and all kinds of stuff happening, and they're just like, "How quickly can I leave?" That's usually what I hear is like, "We just got out of there."
Well, you just gave me
I
a good
don't know.
idea. I'm gonna set up in a grocery store.
Yes, there you go. You can do some mini interventions. I think that
Yeah.
would be super it'd be a super good place for it too.
It's actually a
All
great
those
idea.
Yeah, all those things that are marketed to kids that we just, like, don't want them to eat, and they're like, "I want this!" Anyway.
I'll set up in the cereal aisle and the candy aisle, the
Oh,
chips
yeah,
aisle.
yes, yes, 100%, 100%. Well, I just kinda wanna understand, so, okay, so you work a lot with kids who have, big feelings, and, what are, like, the common struggles you see with kids that, like, children who experience the world in that way and their parents? Sorry for the question. And by the way, I'm a big feeling person, so I like completely understand this, and I'm not here to blame anyone. I know that when I work in the clinic and I'm feeling dysregulated, whether it's fatigue or something in my personal life's going on or what have you, I can tell the kids are not responding as I would like. And I really
Uh-huh.
do have to take those big breaths and like recenter and come to the here and now rather than what's been, in the past or in the future. So not to blame at all. I completely get it. But yeah, if you could just dive into the common struggles for kids and parents, the big feelings, what does that mean? How can we identify a child that has, a lot of big feelings or is highly sensitive?
Hmm. Great question. So there's an intensity. You can feel it. Um,
Yes.
yeah, sometimes it's a very quiet intensity, but it's an intensity. And so that's the first thing. One thing that I've noticed, I'm gonna speak about my own observations here because this is how I work. And one thing I notice is that most of the times these kids are quite watchful. They
Hmm.
notice everything that's going on in the room. You know, um, a lot of times these kids are the one who notices that somebody got hurt, and no matter even they're playing, they get up and go over to make sure that kid is okay. And these are the kids that have very strong opinions, and they're very strong-willed, and they're very determined to have their opinion be heard, and they're very determined to have their wants be met. And one thing is I hear from parents all the time that my kid doesn't listen. I have to repeat myself 100 times and they don't listen. And not to say that there's something dysfunctional in the listening, but a lot of times our intense kids come across that way is that they're not listening or they're ignoring us. And we see this intensity where the feelings are so deep that it takes over the whole body.
Hmm.
One kid I work with who really doesn't can't tolerate clothing on her body very well. We've been working for the past year on not getting emotionally hijacked, you know? So now I can
Hmm.
say, we're going to put some shorts on just for 10 seconds, where in the past it would be a half of an hour of an argument around why she doesn't want to wear the shorts. To now it's, okay, I'm just going to put them on. It's only going to be for the 10 seconds, even though it's uncomfortable. I'll get through it. So that's just so that's the other side of this too, right? Is that there's a lot of possibility within it. Um, the biggest thing here, though, is the love. And, sometimes we can become aggressive and grabbing and biting and yelling and all of that kind of stuff. And I've really been watching that. And what I really see at the bottom of all of that is really big love.
Hmm.
So, for example, a 2.5-year-old I was working with, there was this one ball that she just like always had to have with her. And if anybody came close to that ball, she would,
Okay.
because she loved this ball so
Yeah.
much. And watching her with that is when it really clicked for me that it's really this big love that's motivating things. And there's also an allergy to negativity. These are the kids that when they feel criticized, they shut down or they argue back. A lot of times the regular praise that we give doesn't, they may say, that's not true, that kind of a thing. But let me tell you, a lot of these big feeling kids are, maybe diagnosed with different kinds of things like ADHD or autism or as highly sensitive. But I want to offer a new idea. These are the heart warriors. These are the kids that are here on this planet at this time, and since 2016 is when they've really started coming in. I've been really tracking this. And they are here to show us that there's a different way of being. They're here to show us that the ways that we've been doing things don't work, that it's not regenerative to the human spirit, and it is not healthy relationship in the way that, we've been in the past. And so they're here fighting for it. And so when they're showing up with the big behaviors and the big strong wills, what really are they showing us? They're showing us it's what's underneath that, what they're aiming for. So I call them the heart warriors because I think that they're on a warrior path and they're bright and these kids are so much smarter than any of us. Um, and there's so many of them now. That's the thing is they're coming in by the boatload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing is almost like, well, maybe I use this word symptom because I'm a doctor, but it's almost like a symptom of a dysfunctional world rather than an internal, uh I don't know if this is a terrible word, but I'm gonna use it because it's the one that's coming to mind, like some kind of internal personal flaw or defect in their personality. It's more like, "Hey, guys, this is not it. This
Yeah.
is not how we do, and we need to fix this, and I am here to show up and tell you loudly
Yes.
that this isn't how we do."
That's exactly it. Yes, and
Okay.
actually, so I like to play with words, and, we have this relatively new diagnosis or condition called PDA.
Hmm.
And have you heard about that?
Pervasive developmental? Is
That's
this the
what it
one,
was
or
when I was going through school too, but
okay.
no, now it's something
Now
different.
it's different? What is it now? Okay, tell me, and I need information.
Yes, okay, look, and let me see if I can even remember. Um, no, now I've got pervasive.
'Cause now I put
I
it in your
can't remember
mind.
what the P means, yeah, but it's like demand avoidance. So
Okay.
I can't remember what the P stands for now. And then the adult autistic community relabeled it about demand for autonomy or agency. Again, I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact acronym or the exact words of it for some reason right now. But I call it perception disruption alchemy.
Okay.
Perception disruption alchemy, when they're perceiving that the energy is off, is not matching, right? Then they're going to disrupt that and they're going to alchemize it. So PDA, perceptive, I don't know, I haven't totally landed on if it's perception or perceptive, um disruption. So they're really here to show us, like you said, not working, let's try something different.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I find that just in family systems in general, like, sometimes there'll be a child who has very externalizing behaviors, and other children may have things that might get missed that are internalizing, and everyone's really focused on the child that is externalizing, and for they're very expressive and they're yelling and they're the kicking and screaming and headbanging and all of this, and I'm looking at them, and then I'm looking at the other two children who are internalizing, and you can just sort of see them it crumbling inside, and I almost rather they just be screaming you know um Anyway, that was kind of a sidebar, but just to point out that these children and people are here to make it known.
Yes,
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 to make
yes.
it known.
Thank you, and
So,
that's the first time I've gotten
yeah.
to talk about that, publicly, so thank you. Thank you
Oh,
very
I'm so
much.
glad you did, and thank you for being vulnerable and sharing, because sometimes I think it can be difficult on live on in kind of these broader audiences to really kind of share what you've noticed over the years of your training with your expertise. But I wanted to just kind of ask you, so, like, okay, let's say you're a parent and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like, I've got kids with big feelings. I have big feelings. Like, things seem a little like I need some help. Like, could I just go read a book about it? Or, like, what's the benefit of reaching out to you and coming to get help? Like, what kind of things can you offer outside of just kind of reading something? Not to diminish anything that you do, because I personally cannot read anything and learn. Like, very I need all the to do hands-on stuff. But tell us more
Sure.
about why people should work with you.
For one thing, when you work with me, you get your heart nurtured also. Um,
Aw.
so I really try to show up for the parents as much as for the kids. As far as learning the nurture heart approach, yeah, you could definitely pick up a book. There's two different books you could choose. There's one that is the full content of nurture heart approach, and then there's another one that's a workbook for parents. So that could work better for some people that don't have time to attend a class. But what I really appreciate about having the classes, I do them online at this point, um, and try to make them accessible times. I can have one coming up for a lunchtime series and another one coming up in an evening series, like after bedtime. But the benefit of coming to a live class is that you get to practice. And when we introduce the concepts, we have activities as well. So you really get to feel the nurture heart approach in your bones. And it's a different experience because you get to be in the energy of it also. So the training is designed by the Nurture Heart Institute, and it's designed, and I share my own stories and things of that nature, but it's really designed to give you a really clear roadmap for yourself, because we use the three stands, and we go through what will help you to stay within those stands and to really get it, because we're really trying to be the approach, right?
Okay.
It's not just a slap it on kind of a thing, and it will change your life. It will transform your life. So then also, in addition to the classes, I offer individualized support, and then I also offer group support as well. So, I will be starting once the classes that I just scheduled, once those are rolling, then I will be scheduling some weekly or biweekly group meetings as well. So you can come and you can say, "This is what's going on at home. How do I apply the Nurture Heart approach to it?"
Hmm.
And really, the value is in not only my experience and what I've learned and can help you with, but it's really in also being with other parents and hearing that you're not alone. When you have an intense kid, you think you're the only one that's going through what you're going through, and I can
Yes.
promise you that you are not.
No, no, I can promise you too, because everyone
Yeah.
shows up in my office crying, and that's fine. It's fine. We cry together. It's all good. It's all good.
Totally. Can I
We're
add
not alone. Yes.
Can I add
Add.
another thing that's
Yes.
different working with me is I've been studying heart rhythm meditation since 2019. So I bring in a lot of heart breathing exercises for you as well, and really try to give you those tools to be able to manage in the moment. And let's see. And then also, I offer family play dates. So I'll come to your home, and you can really feel and see, because as I'm getting to know a child, not everything I try is going to work, right?
Right.
As I'm building that rapport. And for you, that's going to be the same also. And a lot of times, parents, they try something new, or teachers, they try something new, and it doesn't work right away, so they abandon it. So I'll come to your home and really show you, by the end, you'll see of our time together, some shift has happened. In some families, within an hour, a major shift has happened. And in some families, it may just be a minor shift, but it's enough that you can really feel the potential. There's some families that I do biweekly play dates in their home with the parents and the kids together. We can break it down into these two siblings are having challenges together, and I work with just those two siblings together. So really, I help with the whole family dynamics. Now, that being said, I'm doing this work not under my OT licensure. So this work is under Jabbarah, Andrea Jacobson, and just coming to you as a guide because I'm here to walk with you. And if you check out my website, there's a video on there. And the mom who's talking about the work I did with their family, and she mentioned that when I would come to their home, that not only would the kids feel nurtured, but the parents also felt really held and like they had been uplifted, and it lasts, and then by the time they saw me again the next 2 weeks, they were ready for more.
That's amazing. Yes, because parents need all the love in the world. Such hard, difficult, joyful, wonderful, all the feelings type of work. And I think often parents think they're not doing that good of a job, and they're doing great. They're
Yes.
doing so well. And just to have someone let them know, like, hey, you are awesome, but we can just tweak these little things and get everything back on track. I think that's amazing. I think that's so good.
For
On
sure.
that point, if parents want to kind of start today, like what would be maybe just one small little practice that they could, start doing today, just to create like more connection with their child or help with emotional regulation, or any little tip that you have for us?
Okay. Can I give a tip and then can I do a breath?
Yes.
Okay. So my first tip is put this in your mind. I see you, and that shows you are.
Okay.
I hear you, and that shows you are. I notice you, and that shows you are. And so what do you notice? What do you see? What do you hear? And watch what it does for your child. Um, it's really amazing. I'll save this story for when you come to my class. And sign up for the class because there's a class starting October 15th on Wednesday evenings, and there's a class starting November 10th, which is on Mondays around lunchtime, noon. Okay, so I'm going to teach you a breath that's I learned through heart rhythm meditation. And I also want to share with you that this particular breath can change the entire atmosphere. And I was sitting in a meeting with a bunch of OTs that were from all different areas and disciplines. There was about 20 of us, and like there was just a negative talk, and like one person was dominating the whole room, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was thinking, do I leave? What do I do? Like, I can't take this negativity.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to just do this breath. And I started doing this breath, and like within 5 breaths, I started to feel a difference. And I kept doing it. And after a few minutes, the entire atmosphere had changed. The person that was dominating the room was no longer dominating the room. People were in more harmony. And at the end of the meeting, I said to my friend, I said, did you notice that there was an energy change in the meeting? And she was like, actually, yeah, I did. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It works.
It's not
Yeah.
just me. It's not just me.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we want to
So,
know. We want to know how to do the breath.
all right. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes. And it doesn't matter if you use your mouth or your nose, whichever feels better for you. And just imagine the sun on your back. Imagine the sun, the warmth of the sun, the light of the sun, the golden rays of the sun. And as you're feeling the warmth of the sun, breathe in and feel that warmth coming into the back of your heart, filling up the back of your heart. And as you breathe out, imagine love is breathing out from the front of your heart. So with the breath out, love comes out. And as you breathe in the sun into the back of your heart. And as you breathe out, breathe love out. Feel that love circling around you. And breathe in the sun into the back of your heart. And breathe love out the front, this time filling your whole house or your whole school and every person in it being touched by your love. And as you breathe in, breathe the sun into the back of your heart. And as you breathe out, breathe love out the front, this time feeling it go as far and wide as you can. And as you breathe back in, this time bringing that love that you've sent out, it's touched all of those many people, and bring that like a shower back to yourself. And breathe that love back into you.
And don't we all feel more regulated? I know I do. I'm ready to go sit in the sun.
It's a beautiful day.
Yes. Jabbarah, thank you so much for coming. This has been so wonderful, and I certainly will know who to refer to you. But for families who already know that they need to connect with you, where can they find you? Where can they find Heart Fueled Tools?
Well, heartfueledtools.com. There is a hyphen in there, but if you don't put the hyphen, it'll still get you there. So it's heart fueled, FUELED tools, TOOLS.com. And if you want to reach out to me directly, you can find my contact info on the website. You can also write to me at Jabbarah, JABBARAH at heartfueledtools.com. No hyphen in that one. I have to make it a little
Amazing.
complicated. But I really do. Or you can also just go to my website and sign up for a class. I will be putting a few more Nurture Heart Approach introduction classes on the calendar. I'll be out of town for the next couple of weeks, so I won't be able to do that before the Wednesday evening class starts, but definitely before the noontime November class starts. But if you have any questions, you want to learn more, please do reach out, because my vision is every person in the world relating through the Nurture Heart approach, because it works, it speaks to the soul, and because it leaves people feeling profoundly, profoundly seen, heard, and valued.
Well, you heard it here, you guys. Everyone send your heart warriors and yourselves to Jabbarah. She's going to take care of you. And if you don't know me, I'm Dr. Ellie, and that's my dog, Liam. And I'm at Middle Path Integrative Pediatrics, and he's saying he wants his walkie. And you can find me in Asheville, North Carolina. And it was so good connecting today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here. And all of you listening, thank you for turning this on and being a fan of Dr. Ellie's, because she has so much value and brings so much light and so much truth to this world and is really, really here for our health. And I just really appreciate being able to be here with you.
I want to say namaste from my yoga classes. Wishing you well, you guys. Bye.